5 o'clock then. Everybody's ready? Ladies and gentlemen, this time we'll call our meeting to order. This is the Rockingham County Board of Elections special meeting. We have an agenda before us that we have received. The first order of business would be to approve the agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. The agenda is approved. Ms. Seamster.
Okay, the first item on the agenda, we had a notice, well, I'm seeking approval of a notice of candidacy by petition for Ryan Boone Young for sheriff, and the unaffiliated petition is what he filled out. He had to receive 2,540 signatures. He has exceeded that amount, and what I'm asking the board for tonight is the approval to put him on the general election ballot, which is this fall. So, and these are his signatures. I'm sorry.
You said this fall. Give that date.
That would be November the 3rd, but he will also be he will start going out in the September absentee by mail ballots. But the reason for this, he had a deadline of March the 3rd by noon to get all of his signatures in, and he actually got all his in prior to that. We do have one other unaffiliated candidate that is getting his petitions done, and if he needs that, then we'll have that later as well. But right now, I'm just seeking approval of the notice of candidacy by petition for Ryan Boone Young to be on the ballot this coming November, the general election, as an unaffiliated sheriff.
Okay, members, you've heard Ms. Seamster's request. Before motion, does anyone have any further questions or discussion for her? And if not, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the notice of candidacy by petition for Ryan Young under affiliated.
Is there a second?
Second that.
All right. Further discussion, further debate? If not, question is for Ryan Young, this approval of notice of candidacy. All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and candidacy is approved. Ms. Seamster.
Okay, the next item, and I've given you a little bit of a heads up before. This is the approval of the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget amendment for postage. And this, we may not need all of this, but right now we have $47 in our postage amount, and I haven't received the bill for the last couple of weeks. But what I am asking is that our general supplies line item be reduced by $3,000, and that our postage line item be increased by $3,000. This is already in our budget, so it's just moving from one line item to another. And once the board approves or denies, if you approve this, then it will move to the finance director for her to approve, and I'm not sure if she'll have to take it before the commissioners or not, but the first thing we have to do is for the local board to approve the budget revision.
Madam, I'm sorry.
You've heard Ms. Seamster's request. Is there further questions from Ms. Seamster? Ms. Todd?
Yes, where does that leave us in the budget as far as general supplies?
We're good right now.
We're good?
We're good.
Okay.
Further questions or comments? Ms. Wright?
No comment, I was getting ready to offer the motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready for motion?
Offer a motion for approval of the fiscal 2025-26 budget amendment as stated by Ms. Seamster.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded to approve fiscal year 25-26 budget amendment as presented by Ms. Seamster. All in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is approved. Ms. Steamster.
Okay, the real reason why we're here. At your seats, you'll see the proposed Board of Elections budget for fiscal year 2026-2027. Pretty much most of our budget, which is regular salaries, board members, temporary salaries, the election precinct salary, I do that, but the health insurance, FICA, irregular retirement, unemployment, workers' comp, that is given to us from the county. The precinct officials, this is based on, and let me go back. At the top of the page, you'll see over to the right-hand side, I have the fiscal year 2022, 2023. That is the same type of election we will have next fiscal year. But I also incorporated the fiscal year 2024, 2025, because that is when a lot of the increases in printing and some of our contracts increased. So I wanted to give a comparison. So with the similar elections, different fiscal years, so you'll have something to compare to, and I'll provide this to the county as well. But just going through the election precinct officials, which is 4111021, in fiscal year 2022, 2023, we did actually expend $900.83. During the fiscal year 2024, 2025, we expended $123,233.26. And with my estimates on what we're going to need for this general election, you'll see over to the side, we have 96 early voting officials. It is a 12-hour shift. We split that in half. And then we have 14 precincts with approximately 200 officials, 12 to 14 per precinct. We have noticed over the last couple of years with the general elections, we have about 75% of our population to show up for the general election. During the primary election, we do not. But this general election, I am anticipating about the 75+% to show up. So that is why I would like to put that at $125,000, which is close to the 2024-2025 fiscal budget. Are there any questions on that?
I want to thank you for presenting both those fiscal years. That's very helpful. Members, comments or questions for Ms. Steamster?
In that category.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, the health insurance, and the only thing with FICA that I added in here is the temporary staff and the early voting officials based on the budget numbers ahead. I mean, that were listed prior to that. So moving on to the Rockingham Update live stream. That is Roy Sawyers, who's doing our meeting tonight. He usually does 12 regular meetings, and we do have 4 special call meetings in there. That could be for budget, that could be for a recount. There's many things that we could have throughout the year. And I did ask Roy if he was having an increase, and he said not this year. So that is the $4,400 that is included in there.
Members, further questions, further comments?
I don't have a question on that category, but right above it, just out of curiosity, I've never known insurance to go down.
I haven't either. I've found that very hard to believe. The only thing I can figure is the workman comp claims have been low and they lowered
So they lowered our
our
rate.
rates.
Okay.
But you're right, I questioned that because it went from 189 up to 233 and then back down to 155.
And the amount of claims probably does impact what you're
I think.
paying. Yeah.
Further comments or questions, members? If not, the chair would entertain a motion.
We're not doing
About for the whole thing?
Oh,
Finish.
you mean keep
Well,
going?
well, keep going.
Go ahead.
Okay, all right. The legal fee is 412-3017. We use Keenan and Craver out of Durham. We've always had just $15,000 in there. He's only paid when we use his services. That is the amount we have used since we started using him in 2021. As you can see in the 2024-2025, we used almost $11,000. If we have a hearing, that's when the money goes up. Just like we just had one for the municipal election that's in this budget year, and that was right around $9,000. So you never know when you might need that legal fee. But he came for 2 different hearings, so.
Oh, I do have a question about that. So that's what that number, that 10,800 is for,
Actual spent.
for the year that we're still currently in until the
No.
end of June?
This was actually for the,
24.
All right, because we're in
24.
26 now.
that was Riggs and,
And refresh my memory, what happened in that year that made us?
that was the Supreme Court.
Okay, yes, I remember that now, yeah.
You really also have someone to challenge a candidate.
Yes, we did. That,
Yeah.
we had a challenge for House of Representatives. So,
So I may be stepping slightly out because it's not about this exact budget, but where are we on that spending for the year that we're in case we have challenges in this early election?
we still have a little bit of money left in there.
Okay.
So hopefully we will not, but
And the budget starts over in July.
July.
Yeah.
That is correct. So if we have any challenges, it will be during the primary.
Yeah.
So,
Further questions, members? No?
okay. With the utilities, we do pay for 30% or 2/3 of the cost. And the county covers the rest because the gym is part of this building. They pay 2/3 of that. We never know with Duke Energy whether it's gonna go up or go down, but it's been pretty consistent. So I'm looking at $5,500 because we are right around the 5,000 mark. Is what it's been for the last 2 years with that 30%.
Ms. Wright?
I'm thinking you might need to put a little more than that in
Okay.
there because I don't know about anybody else's utility bill. Mine has tripled.
Yeah, they've escalated quite a bit.
Yes, they
Yeah.
have. Do you have
So
any
I-
recommendations?
No, I don't. I just felt like this was so much.
My original amount was $6,200, and I reduced it to what it had been for the last 2 years.
I have to agree with Ophelia, and you might want to compensate for that because
Yeah.
I'm expecting not only have the first 2 months been higher than normal, but it's probably going to be that same way in March too.
Okay,
So you'll go back to the 6,200?
would
So-
y'all be good with that?
That's instead of the 49, 45, 87.
Well, instead of the 55,
55, I'm sorry. Yes, 60.
60.
62?
6,200.
Okay,
Do we need to make a vote to make that amendment, make it official?
This is just working.
Yeah, we're just
working
working
right now.
so that's $700. Do y'all think that's enough?
You think?
I think it'll put you in a better position than the 5,500 would.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna add 700 to the back. All right, anything else on the utilities? All right, the service maintenance, the security system monitoring, it's been just shy of the $450. The voting equipment, I did get a quote on that. Cleaning services, they do not anticipate any raises in their fees. And the annual maintenance for security system and badge system, I've received that from the IT department, what that was itemized at being or estimated at being. So we're looking at a little bit more, which is the $40,440 than what we anticipated, well, what we actually spent in 2024, 2025, but it's closer to the 2022, 2023 budget. And the reason for that is in 2024, we had just received the express votes, and it was part of the package for the service agreement. It's the reason why it was not as high in 24 versus 22.
Okay,
Scott,
the 30,000 for voting equipment,
That's the
We-
maintenance.
Yeah.
that's the maintenance?
They come out and they do, we have 32 DS200s and 22 express votes.
So that's the new equipment that we bought.
Yes, well, the DS200s are not the new ones, but the express vote
Yeah.
is the new ones.
Yeah.
But they come out and they service them, they go through each one of them and make sure that everything is in operating order. And
And that's just prior to the election.
that is prior, they do it once a year, usually it's in March or April.
Gotcha.
further comments on service and maintenance?
So it's increased by
That's right.
10,000?
It's more in line with the 2022, because in 2024, that's when we got the express votes. It would have been around the $37,000 figure, but with the purchase of that, they included the maintenance for the first year.
Okay, Ms. Ryan, signature?
Okay. Building repair, we always put in an unexpected building repairs of $1,000. We never know what might happen. It might be a water closet or commode, whatever you want to call it. Something could happen. We may have to do that, but I am also asking to add 2 walls in the director's office. What that wall will do, it will make that room into 2 rooms where if you come and you need to have a conversation with someone, you'll have somewhere you can go that is closed off.
So it's gonna kind of be like what we did last year when we used that.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's just the rough estimate that I've been given so far.
Okay, I was gonna ask about that.
Yes.
Further discussion on the building repair? Ms. Simpson?
Equipment repairs, if there's something, you'll notice in 2022, 2023, we had to get new batteries for the DS200s. That's usually about every 5 to 6 years. So that will be in our next one, fiscal year after this one. There are 3 batteries that go into each of the DS200 machines, and that was what the cost was in 2022. But I'm not anticipating those needing to be replaced this year. So I'm just putting 1,000 in the unexpected equipment repairs.
Comments or questions? Ms. Simpson?
Postage. Absentees, the office mailings, NCOA cards, voter confirmation cards, voter registration cards for one general election. We put in 20,000 last year, and I would like to do the same thing. Hopefully, we won't be sending out bulk voter registration cards, but you'll see in 2024, 2025, we did go over the 20,000. We're going over this year, but in both cases, we had changes in precincts. So
Comments or questions? Ms. Wright?
One question, on the proposed one, the first one that you gave us, is one general election and general office?
Yes.
OFF.
It's office supplies.
Okay, office.
Well, office mail-outs or, yeah, it cut off that.
Further comments or questions?
In the 2024-25, didn't we have to change some ballots too in 25, 24?
Yes,
25?
we
Yeah.
did. Because that was, we ordered the ballots and then they changed it at the last minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Further comments or questions? Ms. Stinkler?
Okay. With the printing, we are going to need some additional absentee envelopes. Usually during the general election, it does increase. And there are 3 different sizes of envelopes we have to send with absentee. The provisional envelopes will be changing this year as well. They were trying to get that done prior to the primary election. They did not get it done. They're expecting those to come in sometime May or June, so we'll be ordering those in the new fiscal year to get new provisional envelopes. The testing and the election ballots, I'm anticipating those costing about $25,500. That's a little slight more than what the primary election is costing us based on the number of ballots I'll have to order. The coding and the layout will be about $11,000. And then I'm estimating $10,500 for brochures, educational materials. We will need to update our manuals during the general election. And this is also for public records requests, voter cards, anything else that we may need to order that has to be printed outside of this office. So I am requesting $49,350.
Comments or questions? Ms.
Question,
Scott?
on provisional ballots, are we seeing a lot of those?
Not during the primary. We usually do not see them during the municipal
the
or
general
primary.
election.
But the general election, we usually send out thousands.
Comments or questions? Ms. Inkster?
Okay, general insurance is given to us by the county or provided by the county. The communications is on the next page. The Converge is our office phones here. The cell phone allowance is the cell phone that everybody calls me on during elections. And then the MiFi, it should say general and not primary election. We now have 2 MiFis that we will be using for the Reidsville and the Eden sites. So I'm anticipating that costing us about $150. We only have to pay for the time that we use that instead of a yearly contract. So I'm estimating $2,100 for communications.
Comments or questions? Ms. Inkster?
The advertising prior to the early voting, it'll be about $650. Miscellaneous, as far as any changes, precinct moves, and sometimes we have those, sometimes we don't, but that's about $1,000. The required notices, we usually try to send that out in the Rockingham Now, the Eden Zone Journal, and sometimes we have Roy do that, as well as other outlets that we may use, and that's about $4,000. And we have put this monthly audio and video programs out to promote Get Out and Vote. Next year, we will have more time. So, whereas this year, with back-to-back elections, we do not have that. Roy usually helps us with that when we are able to do that, and we do need to update some of our videos because a lot of them have changed. So, but,
I said thank you.
yeah, thank you, Roy. So right now, I am estimating $9,850 if the board wants to move forward with that monthly audio and video programs. We also do the podcast as well.
Chair has a question. So it is a significant increase. Is that mainly the monthly audio and video programs, Byline, that's causing that?
Yes.
So that's the 4,200.
Yeah, because we have not, we've done a few, but we haven't done what we have projected. And this is something that Member Hampton, when he was on the board, really wanted us to do.
Didn't we do something?
We did some,
And so we would have to make new ones?
yes. But a lot of them have, a lot of the information has changed.
That's true, yeah, a lot of the laws have changed, yeah.
So, but you'll see in the prior years, we did not use all of that money. We may have done one or two.
Well, let me ask you this, did you see much of an impact from the audio and the video programs?
Yes, we've had a lot of people watch it, but like I said, a lot of them are outdated right now.
So they're not being shown?
Well, they're on our
They are?
website. They're on our website. The podcasts are on there and the videos are on there. It's under voter information, and they can look on there how to use the DS200, how to use the express vote, what the voting process is, the process for absentee ballots, but there's several on there.
Well, you can probably answer this better than any of us can. Do you think that the amount of coverage that provided, or the number of people that watched it, justifies a $4,200 increase? I think you're
That's-
going to catch some flack from the commissioners.
Well, it's been on there each
Has
year.
it?
Mhm. It's been on there. This will be the third year that it's been on there.
What kind of response did you get from the commissioners on it? None? No pushback?
We'd rather have more.
Well, I agree, but I'm just saying, you know,
Yeah.
if I were gonna think of anything that you might get pushback on, it would probably be that.
Well, they know that our performance measurement that we're trying to achieve is based on voter turnout. And if we can increase the voter turnout, then we're meeting our performance measurements.
So point of clarification then, actually that 9850 is not as large of an increase from what was budgeted, it's just more than what was spent.
Spent, that
what
is
you're saying.
correct.
So that's
That is
helpful in that. Further comments or questions?
That was what I was going to ask. So do you remember what approximately, not exact, what was budgeted? You know, where we
Right.
spent the 3,500, but around, was it around the same number,
It was
similar?
around the same number.
I think it's great. I think it's certainly the best way to reach the younger voters. And I think it's an important thing to do.
It is.
Further comments or questions? Ms. Seamster?
Okay, dues, the staff members here are part of the association. We pay these dues every year. It's $30 for myself and $15 for the other two. We attend the NCADE conference, and that, normally we attend in March. I'm not sure if we'll have, it depends on whether we have a second primary or not. But nothing has been sent out for March as of yet, but it'll be March or April when we'll attend that conference. And usually that's when we find out more information director-wise inside what's going on, what the best practices are at other counties. We have more one-on-one time with just staff in the office. And the state board is not present during those meetings.
Comments or questions? Ms. Seamster?
The travel, for some reason, we have this to use the county car, but it always gets put into the general fund. They may take this account away, but I put in the same thing we usually put, but you'll see the last 2 years it says 0. We have used the county car. You'll notice it's parked outside now. During the elections, we usually have it the day before early voting starts until the day after the election. But it is at our disposal. We fill it up as needed, and I turn those tickets in. That's where the line, this should be put, but normally they put it in general supplies instead of the travel. So they may or may not remove that line item.
Comments or questions? Ms. Seamster?
Okay, the next is the board training. We have one conference that will be coming up in August. It will be in Greensboro, so y'all will not be staying at the hotel there. But what's included there is registration and the meals. You will be provided lunch for sure. Sometimes they do breakfast, sometimes they do not. But if we stay late, then that would also pay for your dinner. The mileage is 250 miles times 5 board members if all 5 attend. And the mileage rate as of right now is 72.5 cents per mile. So I'm estimating $3,406 for that conference if all 5.
Point of clarification, I know this year, and this is probably more for the public's knowledge, but that was mandatory training for us to attend, and I would assume it is the same.
Well, what they do require that the board members attend 2 board meetings within that first 2-year time period. So I know you attended the one we had, I forget where it was.
July. Well,
Wilmington. And then we had the online, but the members that have been on the board for a while, they're not required, but the new members are. So Wally, you would be required
Yes.
to attend because that would be your first conference. So, okay.
Ms. Cotton?
Question for the one that, the online one that we had in February, did you ever get the training materials from that?
I have not as of yet.
Okay.
So I will check again to see if they had posted it. But
Okay.
they were waiting on a couple of presentations before, but I will send that out.
Comments or questions?
Yeah, I have 2 questions.
Mr. White?
One, 250 miles from here to Greensboro?
Back and forth and
Oh,
2
for the
days.
multiple days. Thank
yes,
you.
it's multiple
That
days.
answers that. And then, am I not required to also do another training sooner than that? I thought in the paperwork I read, there was something that I needed to do, like in first 90 days or something like that.
That would be this conference, but you just,
Even though it's further out than 90
Yes.
days. Got you.
And they might have to do an online something.
did you have to do that?
Okay. I'll look
I'll-
I'll look into
I'll
it.
send in a help ticket to see. Let me put that on here.
Further comments or questions? Seems
All right, the next is the staff training. Did the same thing with the one conference in Greensboro, and then with us not knowing where the NCAD conference is, I included the hotel registration and the meals, and we're at $3,750.
comments or questions? Ms. Simpson?
Okay, general supplies. It's the supplies for the daily operations, the office, any projects we have, events, and that is events that we have out in the public, like Fab Fest, River Fest, the Ruffin Fall and Spring festivals. We go to Madison, Mayodan, Stoneville. We try to attend all of those festivals, and we do try to update our brochures. I have those available, as well as registration forms, anything that the public may want. We try to have that there, and that's part of that general supplies. The Concord technology is our fax that comes in via our email, and then the Toshiba copier charges is our maintenance on the Toshiba machines that covers the cost of the printing, the ink, and any maintenance that's on there. So I am estimating $14,650 in 2022, 2023. We did our manuals. But we did the manuals here. That's what caused it to go up higher, because we were using the Toshiba, because we did not have it in print.
You anticipated the chair's question. Are there other comments, Ms. Cotton?
I remember that in '25, we were having to deal with increased costs for all of our suppliers. Are we seeing that this year, or has all of that leveled
It's
out?
leveled off a little bit, so. They usually let us know when there's gonna be an anticipated increase, and usually we've received it by now. We have not.
Gotcha.
Comments, questions?
And you don't think you need
Right.
increases in it, you can always
And
have it there if you need to move something else. I mean, if something comes up and you might need to take some of it, but,
I think we're good.
okay.
I think we're good.
Further comments or questions? Ms. Inkster?
Okay, and then the last thing is the precinct supplies. And you'll see that we're usually around $3,000, so I am estimating $5,000 for that. And, you know, usually we do $8,000, but $5,000 should be good.
Comments or questions, members? Comments or questions regarding the entire budget?
And-
Line item?
The new total, if you're adding the utilities, is $622,770.
Which is a 60, you're talking about the total?
The total, it went from
Adding the
$622,070.
Yeah, which is a $63,000 increase from what we actually spent in 24, 25.
Further comments or questions for Ms. Inkster? Ms. Inkster?
I just need to know if there's anything that the board thinks they need to adjust. If not, is this a budget that the board would like to approve? Or would you like to take more time to review it and schedule another meeting? It's entirely up to you.
And then our chair said he would be sending something. Did you
Yes,
get with
let me
you on
get-
that?
All right.
Because it may be something that he wanted to add and.
It's the same amount, but if you'll look at the board members' monthly salary and election pay, I
And that's on
did,
what page?
is the first one.
First page.
The 14,400, I did submit a, board approval to the Board of Commissioners right before y'all arrived at 5. What the chairman is proposing is that the monthly salary and the election pay be added together, divided by 12, and then a $50 allowance for cell phone and $75 allowance for travel cost. You'll still get the same amount of pay, but it will be allocated differently on the check.
Okay, so the total is not changing.
Correct.
Why do we need that breakdown?
I will address that.
Okay.
I've spoken with the chair and just felt that it would make more sense to balance it out, have the same every month, as long as the total was the same. I thought it would be easier for accounting purposes and just thought it would be more,
But the total is the same
the total is the same.
as what we have been getting,
That's
so,
correct.
and I don't think I mean, I'm not opposed to doing it, but I just don't see the need to do it.
I
Well,
think
it
it's
sounds
more
like he's
design.
adding some specifics in there as what the money is for, is that, because you were saying something about travel and
More of
phones
an
and stuff?
itemized
Yeah,
amount.
And I understand that is consistent with what the Board of Commissioners does. I think that's where he gets that. Ms. Wright?
I mean, how much travel, the most traveling I do is during primary
Election
and
time.
during election. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm just, people just keep.
Well, you wouldn't have to. It would still just be, you would get the same amount of pay, it would just be broken out differently in payroll.
As far as accounting purposes, is the county wanting that done? I mean, are they not happy? Are they not, I don't really see the need for
It
it.
comes down to the approval of the Board of Commissioners. That's what I just got the email probably around 3:30, that this is something according to general statutes that anything like this would have to actually be approved by the Board of Commissioners.
When you say anything like this, do you mean breaking it down like that?
Yes. And that was from the finance director as well as the county attorney.
So this is
Review
something
that.
that the Board of Commissioners would have to address,
Yes.
not us.
Correct. They're the ones that would have to approve this change, and it will be on their agenda. It's tentatively on their agenda for Monday night, but Susan will let me know if it will be at a later meeting. But the amount in our budget will not change. It still will be the 14.4. It will just be reallocated.
So when we get the final budget, if that gets approved by the commissioners, will it be broken down in our budget, our copy of the budget in that manner?
It could be. I can do that. It would still be, what shows up on the public copy is per salary forecast. There would not be a breakdown there at all. It would just be like it would say board members per salary forecast 14.4. That's all it would show.
Chair can comment, I would just say, I believe it is not a matter of necessity, it's a matter of preference. My personal opinion is that it's not changing the total. It's something that the chair would like to do. I don't have any reason to oppose it. And so I would support the chair's decision if the board would go along with that.
Well, we're
Ms.
not
Todd,
approving that, are we? Because she just said the commissioners.
Commissioners do have to
Right,
approve it, but
right.
we recommend to them.
Yeah.
This is a recommendation.
I don't have any opposition to it, I don't think it's necessary.
It's not necessary, that's
It's
correct.
necessary.
It is not necessary. It is a matter of preference. Further comments, further
But it
discussion?
doesn't really matter. We've already presented it and sent it someplace. It doesn't really matter whether we want it sent that way or not, right? Because it's already,
Ms. Singh, sir, are we not making a recommendation?
Well, I was asked to send it to the clerk to the board so she could get it on the agenda for Monday night. But it would be nice to have a recommendation from this board, yes.
That's my
Mr.
only
White?
challenge. That's my only challenge. The numbers aren't changing. I don't care about that. The breaking it down, I think, breaking it down for the public to be able to see how the money's being spent, although that doesn't sound like the public one's gonna have that. But I have a massive issue of sending something off without this board, it coming through this board. And that is where I'm inclined to vote against it because of that. That's a huge issue for me.
Further comments, discussion?
Are we wanting to do it because the commissioners do it, or is it's not a necessity to have it, and we've never had it before, and it's not something we're going to share with the public, am I correct in saying that?
Well, it could be. What it does do is it saves on FICA, what the county has to pay to FICA.
Really?
Because you do not have to pay FICA on cell phone usage or travel.
saves who?
The county sending in.
You probably also don't have to pay income tax on it if
That is
it's
true.
that way as well.
That is true.
I don't have an issue with the thing, but I have a massive issue with the way it's been handled.
The way it's worked.
It's been handled
Oh,
by not coming through this board first, which it absolutely should have. And I can't vote in favor of it because of that.
So point of clarification, Ms. Sims, are you saying, I think what I understand Mr. White to be saying is that it's already been presented to them? Or are we
has
making
been
a recommendation? Has it been suggested?
I was called by the chair and asked to submit it to the clerk, so
So
she could
they
get
don't
it.
need our recommendation. If they already have the information,
I don't know if they have it as of yet. Like I said, I sent it to her, it was probably 10 minutes till 5,
when are they meeting again?
Monday.
Monday?
So to be clear, the Board of Commissioners can act with or without our recommendation. They're passing the budget.
Correct.
We're simply making a recommendation. So we can remain silent on this issue and just, if the board wants to make a recommendation on the entire budget, as far as the amount, we can. If we don't, the commissioners can do what they wish anyway. But we are, it seems to, I believe, is asking if we would like to approve and send a recommendation for the budget, the entire amount, to the
Yes.
Board of Commissioners.
Because
Yeah.
it's not gonna change, it's not gonna change the amount.
It won't change the amount.
Nothing's gonna change.
The amount, the 14,400 will not change. It will remain the same, either way.
So there are two issues here. There is the matter of making a recommendation on the entire budget that you gave us, $622,770, that we could make a recommendation for that budget. And the second issue is that we could make a recommendation on this allocation, or we could remain silent on that issue. Would that be fair to say, Ms. Simpson?
Yes.
Is there a third option? I'm not comfortable remaining silent either.
The third option would be to make some other recommendation if that's what the board wanted to do. Or another option would be not to make a recommendation on the budget itself.
Or have a discussion on it and see where, I'm still not seeing where it's making a difference. If it's not
No.
changing anything.
I have no opposition to the budget. I trust Paula. We've asked our questions. We've gotten our explanation. I'm prepared to go forward with the budget. But, you know, if something's going forward to anyone, county commissioners or anywhere else in the name of this board, it should be come through this board
I
and not
agree with
around
that.
this board.
I agree with that.
And I need that on public record. Now I'm not silent and I'm good to move on.
Other comments or questions? All right, members. Ms. Seamster has made a recommendation of $622,770 as amended during the discussion this evening. If there's a motion, the motion would be for approval of this fiscal year 26-27 budget as amended this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. White, second by Ms. Totten. Is there further discussion or debate? If not, the question is the passage of budget recommendation for fiscal year 26-27 as amended this evening. All those in favor would signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed would say no. The ayes have it, and the recommendation is made. And that seems to conclude our agenda. Ms. Seamster, do you have anything?
I'll be meeting with county management sometime. Normally, we have 2 members to usually attend that meeting with me, so you can hear what the county management says. Would y'all like to do the same thing this fiscal year?
Yes.
So just decide who wants to do that. I'll let you know, if they have any changes, I will let the board be aware of that, so you'll know if there's any changes to the budget from county management.
What is that date?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
As soon as I get some dates, I will try to send that out.
Can I just touch on something?
Ms. Totten?
I don't know how the commissioners did it, and we're not the commissioners, but when changes are being made or suggestions are being made, I have to agree with Wally that the board needs to participate in that. That should be presented to us so that we can have discussion on it, and that's the way we've always done it. The board participated in those decisions and, making those decisions. We're all a part of the board, so it is imperative that we be involved in the processes and the decisions.
In other words, she's
That's
saying.
right.
In other words, she's saying, had we had a discussion about this before you sent, I think the comfort level would have been a lot better. And I don't know how it's gonna come back, even if they decide, well, that sounds like a good idea. Still, we will have to make a decision as to whether we.
I mean, I just think that, like I said, I've served on the board for 4 years, and when decisions had to be made or suggestions or whatever, they were always brought before the entire board so that discussion could be had and a decision could be made that everybody was in agreement with, or, it just works better that way, I think.
Okay, members, before we adjourn, are there any final comments? Ms. Wright?
No.
Ms. Totten?
No.
Mr. White?
No, thank you.
I would entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second? It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourned. All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it, and we'll adjourn. Thank you, members.